One of our logos says 2 partners, 1 mission. And I think it's important for all the employees and new employees to know where we come from and how did we get here today. R&S at that time was called R&S Sales back in 1982. Started, and it was a very simple philosophy in pharmaceuticals. It was buying cheaper, selling a little bit higher, and keeping the little bit in between. And what did we do for our customers at that time? We sold to wholesalers primarily, chains, and some drugstores, but that was mostly the business model in that program. In 2002, we purchased Dixon Shane, which is now known DBA as R&S Northeast. When we bought them, they had their own label, they had a packaging company inside their wholesale distribution, and their primary customer base was selling product to the city of Philadelphia and 340B healthcare entities. So R&S's model, and it's still that model today, is we sell product to some of the smaller customers that the big guys don't sell to. We do sell to some pretty big customers. We have the contract with the city of Philadelphia, but primarily we're providing the service to the smaller ones and giving them a little better terms sometimes and a little better price sometimes than they're getting before. Somewhere around 2003 or 4, we bought a Pace down in Maryland that was a packaging company, and we moved the packaging from the warehouse there in Philadelphia down to Maryland. And a couple years later, we refurbished a warehouse at Fountain Run, Kentucky, and we refurbished it, moved the packaging facility there, about 4 miles from our original building that we built in 1982. After we bought and moved to Pace in 2007, we started AvCare, which was in Pulaski, Tennessee. And AvCare beginnings was strictly marketing pharmaceuticals to the federal government, primarily or entirely generics at that time. And we saw a need because we had the packaging facility. AvCare eventually got its own label. So we were able to provide the federal government in unit of use packages. For those of you who don't know unit of use, that might be a 30 count or 90 count where they can just put a label around it. And a lot of the government uses mail order pharmacies. So the end result is we was trying to solve a problem that they had where they was having open bottles, send it through the counters, or sometimes even count them manually where they could use unit of use. And eventually we got into medical supplies, and that was through the federal government. We eventually have unit dose now. A lot of our employees, salespeople, work strictly in the unit dose area. At that time, almost all unit dose was made in 100 count. So for small hospitals, we developed a 50 count so they could cut their inventory cost in half and solve another problem for them. Cash flow is a problem. So we try to solve problems for our customers no matter how big they are. Just this last year in 2020, we got a new, if you want to call them partner or sold part of the company to Amneal, a publicly traded company. And I think it closed at the end of January 2020. And so far it has worked out wonderful. They're great people to work with. They understand the pharmaceutical industry. They was our second largest provider of the pharmaceuticals for us to sell to the government. So it was a win-win for both sides. Where we're at today, R&S still sells the 340B program along with the other contracts. And then AvCare, primary business, is selling the government and unit dose. We're branching out into selling injectables into the commercial market. So we have a lot of salespeople that goes into hospitals and clinics. And we are developing other niches where we can grow into the future. And I see a bright future. A lot of successful people, and successful people have good people around them. That's number one. But a lot of successful people, you hear them on TED Talks, on YouTube, say they have goals. This is my goal, whatever. My goals, I used to say I didn't have any. I did. I always have it to today. The goal is to be responsible and live up to your responsibilities and to have integrity. And some of the employees have heard me say it before. What AvCare and RNS stands for, to me, is integrity. Never be ashamed to go in and because of something that AvCare or RNS said or did that wasn't true. I think integrity is rare in companies anymore.